Hello and welcome to Democracy Today, a date with happenings in the political world. I am Odion Bello. Today we want to chronicle major politically related happenings in three main areas. New parties are swinging into actions as more headsmen continue with the killings. In the midst of these, the presidency is calling on journalists to always adhere to the principles of fairness and objectivity in the reportage of sensitive national issues. Welcome. Nigeria's political landscape may be fast wearing a new look as preparations ahead of the 2019 general elections in the country get underway. Former military President Ibrahim Babangida, in a statement this Sunday, called for a proper reappraisal of the present Nigerian state with a view to providing a new national leadership for the interest of all Nigerians. The statement issued by his spokesman, Kasim Afebua, the former military president, said Nigeria now needs a new breed leadership, which derives from the understanding that it will show a marked departure from recycled leadership to creating new paradigms that will breathe fresh air into our present polluted leadership. Babangida made it clear that while he does not intend to deny President Buhari his right to vote and be voted for, but there comes a time in the life of a nation when personal ambition should not override national interest. He said the time has come for Nigeria to reinvent the wheel and tap into the resourcefulness of the younger generation, stimulate their entrepreneurial initiatives, and provoke a conducive environment to grow national economy both at the micro and macro levels. Contemporary leadership, the former leader insisted, has to be proactive and not reactive. While acknowledging that modern leadership is not just about fighting corruption, but about plugging the leakages and building systems that will militate against corruption, accountability in leadership should flow from copious examples. It goes beyond mere sloganeering. On restructuring, he said, all issues being canvassed must be critically addressed based on the expectations of the people and advised political parties not to politicize issues just for votes during elections. On growing insecurity in the country, the former military president lamented that continued attacks by herdsmen has cast doubts on the capacity of government to handle with dispatch security concerns that continue to threaten our dear nation, suicide bombings, kidnappings, armed banditry, ethnic clashes, and other divisive tendencies. The statement further called on the government to reorient the minds of the herdsmen or gunmen to embrace ranching as a new and modern way to herd cattle. It also wants government to expand the capacity of the Nigeria Police, the Nigerian Army, the Navy, and Air Force to provide the necessary security for all. As the media channels were reporting the issues of political activities, herdsmen's killings, state of the nation, and more, the presidency was uncomfortable and came up with a statement that all sections of the Nigerian media should always adhere to the principles of fairness and objectivity in the reportage of sensitive national issues, particularly as they relate to security matters. This appeal comes as some recent media reports have accused President Muhammadu Buhari of double standards in the handling of clashes between farmers and herdsmen. Addressing State House correspondents on Friday at the Aso Rock Villa in Abuja, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said it is most unfair for some journalists to accuse the President of endorsing bloodshed in Benue State, noting that such statement does not only lack decency and touch of professionalism, but also undermines the integrity of the President, who has, over the years, built a strong and unblemished reputation.
Segments of our mass communication, mass media system in the country is every day sinking deeper and deeper into hate speech. We don't know which journalism school teaches this kind of reporting, that there's a red alert. Expect more bloodshed in Benue. So what is this supposed to serve? If you have read the back page of the same Sun newspaper yesterday, there's a column writer who wrote to say of the Minister of Defense of Nigeria, a Fulani irredentist. And he literally called President Muhammadu Buhari a murderer. Where is decency? Where is ethic? Where is responsibility? Where is respect for the office and person of the President of Nigeria?
The media aide said while it has become unfashionable for governments around the world to clamp down on media organizations, journalists in Nigeria should not take advantage of the principles of press freedom and free speech to abuse the office and personality of the president. Garba Shehu appealed to media houses in the country to embrace the concept of self-regulation and quality control to avoid sensationalism.
The president doesn't deserve this. And the fact that it's an administration that has sworn to the due process of law, that will not resort to lawlessness, does not in any way suggest that people should ride roughshod over personal reputation built over many years, over the integrity of person and the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Now, let's take a pry into the activities of some new political parties and associations. As permutations for 2019 continue, 31 registered political parties on Thursday resolved to come under a new umbrella known as the Committee of Concerned Political Parties. Speaking at the end of its emergency meeting in Abuja, chairman of the new body Onwubuya Breakforth described the new platform as that of like minds, whose immediate attention is to rescue Nigeria from the brink of collapse caused by mounting security siege and crippling poverty. The Committee of Concerned Political Parties insisted that they are not merging, but its priority is born out of a genuine intention to foster more meaningful dialogue for Project Nigeria.
If you call it a season of merger, alignment, or alliances, you may not be very far from the truth. The latest of the ongoing permutation ahead of the 2019 election is the coming together of 31 political parties to form what they call the Committee of Concerned Political Parties.
We are so much concerned with the issues that border on our national and peaceful coexistence as a nation. Issues that border on democracy, good governance, peace and security of our nation. And we felt as political party leaders, we cannot fold our hands and watch things going in the wrong direction. As such, we have set up 3-man standing committee or 3-man standing executives to pilot the affair of this committee.
They are pushed into an alliance to arrest the spate of insecurity ravaging the country, which they say may jeopardize the 2019 election.
Because if you don't have a country, you can't have any election at all. You remember 2015 election was equally put off, was postponed for about 1 or 2 weeks on security matters. And so if you look at what is happening in Benue today, can anybody send his or her child to go there and conduct election? The answer is no.
They call themselves a group of like minds whose major concern is not about fielding candidates.
We can tell you that we have a flexible time of, say, between 2 and 3 weeks from today to properly unveil this committee and present to Nigerians further details about the decisions that would have been reached.
As the clock ticks towards the 2019 election, more of these alliances are expected to come up.
The new movement is one out of many ongoing alignments by organizations ahead of the country's general election in 2019. One of Nigeria's newly registered political parties, the National Rescue Movement, says it is building a formidable team of young politicians that will liberate Nigerians from the current hardship facing the country. Chairman of the party, Seydou Dansidao, who made the promise at unveiling of the National Rescue Movement on Saturday, said the time had come for credible Nigerians to take up leadership positions.
Confident, we are optimistic, because Nigerians are sick and tired of fraudulent politicians who make all kinds of promises. At the end of the day, they are only after their pockets. Their concern is to defraud the public of its treasury. And you have credible Nigerians all over the country who use their own personal hard-earned money to help the underprivileged Nigerians. These are the kind of people that Nigerian voters are looking for.
The party says the 2019 general elections will not be a smooth sail for the ruling APC.
We have several chances. Now, the people that donated their money, the people that buy cart of 100 naira to put this government in, now they cannot afford 10 naira to drink water. So it's the same people, we are pleading with them to come so that we join our hands together and rescue this country from the hands of so-called changeless.
We're not desperate to ascend to the throne, you understand? But it might not be now, but we want to present credible people that actually that at the end of the day, Nigerians will actually appreciate.
The National Rescue Movement is one of the 21 political parties registered by the Independent National Electoral Commission in December last year. Another one, but this time is still being referred to as a political association. Former governor of Osun State, Olagunsoye Oyinlola, says Nigerians must unify and make those in leadership accountable if they desire to see a new Nigeria. Oyinlola, while speaking in Abuja at an advocacy forum, said he is leading a new group known as the Coalition for Nigeria Movement to provide an opportunity for Nigerians who have great ideas that can transform the nation and tackle the current leadership deficit in the country.
This movement exists to promote the welfare of all citizens of a united Nigeria, guided by justice and fairness. In carrying out this task, we are taking into consideration the various calls for equity in political and social relationships across the various segments of the country. Therefore, it has been agreed by those of us steering it at this formative stage that money to run its affairs should come from contributions of members at each level. The movement must not belong to a money bag somewhere.
Former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke, and other Nigerians have thrown their weight behind the initiative which hopes to harness the rich human capacity of intellectuals in the country.
There's a lot of pressure on the land, and we're not able to get enough outlets to vent our steam. So you have these two political parties that are right now not meeting the aspirations of Nigerians. And so hopefully if we can put together a sufficient number of people that can articulate the challenges of our nation at this time, it may be a way out for the logjam that we find ourselves.
The difference is the coming together of all like minds to create a common front, to create a system, a plan where we all are part of the process. So the difference is that there's no agenda, there's no set tone. The set tone will be determined by us. We all have a common objective.
The forum agreed that the coalition will also serve as a check on governance, as the nation must be put first before any personal interest, especially by politicians. And former President Olusegun Obasanjo on Thursday registered as member of the newly formed Coalition for Nigeria Movement in Abeokuta, Ogun State. The former president told the gathering that his decision to be part of the movement is born out of the need to mobilize Nigerians, irrespective of their political interests and affiliations, to push for a new way of governing Nigeria with focus on unity, rule of law, peace, security, stability, and general well-being of the country.
The instruments we have used so far in our nation building and governance since independence have not served us well. It is imperative that we should rethink and retool.
An address of the gathering by the former president revealed more about the coalition, which is described as a popular socio-economic movement designed to be a vehicle to give hope to the youth, dignity and encouragement to women, as well as security, confidence and a promising future to all Nigerians.
Coalition for Nigeria movement is proposed as the new direction to mobilize our population for unity, cooperation, development, rule of law, employment, law and order, justice, integration, peace, security, stability, welfare and well-being. In these regards, special attention and space must be given to youth and women. The movement is a means to an end. The end is Nigeria unshackled, united, dynamic, strong, secure, cohesive, stable, and prosperous at home and respected outside.
We shared part of his concern and we want this nation to move forward.
We want to form this coalition now so that people can see we are up to something.
Well, we still have Olusegun Obasanjo in the news. As Nigeria's Minister of Communication, Adebayo Shitu, says, former President Olusegun Obasanjo is in no position to ask President Muhammadu Buhari not to seek re-election in 2019. Addressing reporters at the presidential villa in Abuja, Shitu said, though the former president is entitled to his opinion on matters of state, Obasanjo, according to the minister, is not a member of the ruling APC. Hence, cannot decide for the party who flies its flag in the 2019 presidential election.
The man himself has not really declared, but we are saying we will persuade him to declare his intention at the appropriate time, and we are going to campaign for him. We are going to campaign for him does not mean we have started campaign for him. There's hardly any regime other than his own that he did not criticize, except Sani Abacha, who didn't wait for Obasanjo to criticize him before he was sent to the Gulag. So, to many Nigerians, they know that Obasanjo enjoys this type of sensationalization. In any case, no matter what impression you have of me, do you have a right to tell me not to contest an election?
Well, you can trust that campaign for increased women participation in politics is gaining momentum. So, the House of Representatives is amending the Federal Character Commission Act to give Nigerian women the option of indigenship of either husbands or fathers, and the amendment is also seeking to establish a federal character tribunal to prosecute violations of the act when passed.
In Nigeria, women married outside their state of origin are often discriminated against and sometimes outrightly barred from holding either elective or political position in the state of their husbands. Many more suffer as they also find it difficult to play a political role in their father's state, no thanks to the controversial issue of indigenship. The House of Representatives is therefore seeking an amendment to the Federal Character Commission Act to allow married women have the option of either choosing the ethnic identity of their husband or that of their fathers.
Yeah, that is a law as of now to say that she can only claim her state of origin. In other words, where her father comes from.
That's why that arm of it seeks to say that if the benefits from where she's married to do not exist, she could also benefit from primarily where she originates from.
Well, let's go now to the worrisome killings by herdsmen. Some people, however, prefer to say suspected, in quotes. Well, whichever way, while Nigerians are praying for the killings to abate or stop, an attack by suspected herdsmen on a village in Gasol, local government area of Taraba State, has left 4 persons dead. The attack came barely 24 hours after the state governor, Darius Ishaku, raised an alarm threatening impending attacks on the state.
The mood in Ngoswen village in Gasol local government area of Taraba State is a very sad one, as most of the villagers have fled to safety and only few persons are left to bury the dead and get some valuables before they bid goodbye to their homes. The villagers say they were attacked by herdsmen the previous night and the whole community will have to relocate to a safer place as they have no security men stationed to protect them and have no means to defend themselves. Most of the villagers, whom are peasant farmers, are relocating to towns where it is safer, but with no farmlands, which also translates to no means of livelihood and an addition to thousands of internally displaced persons in Taraba State. 4 dead bodies about to be buried and cartridges discovered after the attack told their tale of horror.
We were sleeping, but 2 of our people, they stay outside. Then they see the people are coming this side. In fact, the number of them, if we are around 20 like that, inside this compound, they begin to shoot.
We hear shooting, from there, I raise my brothers up, let's go into the bush.
Jerry Tionga is the president of the Yam Farmers Association in Taraba State. He appealed to the federal government to protect the lives and farmlands of farmers if it is committed to its call to Nigerians to return to farming.
They are being attacked in their farmlands. So just when they are about to sleep or they are sleeping, then these herdsmen will just attack them.
The worst corruption on earth is for you swimming in the blood of human beings. And that is happening all over the country. And it is just done to the farmers.
The attack on Ngoswen village, which is the second of its kind in Taraba State this year, came barely 24 hours after an alarm raised by Governor Darius Ishaku on reports of imminent attack on the state.
The enactment of the anti-grazing law by the Benue State government was responsible for the New Year Day killings in the state by herdsmen. So says the leadership of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, MAGBAN. The National Secretary of the association, Baba Usman Jezaba, made this known during a meeting initiated by the Nigerian Bird Association, NBA, with all the concerned parties to provide solutions to the incessant killings in Benue State and other parts of the country.
The meeting created yet another opportunity for parties absent at an earlier similar event put together by the Nigerian Bar Association in Makurdi to identify causes of the incessant farmers-herdsmen clashes in Benue and other states in Nigeria with a view to finding a way out. For the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, the anti-grazing law must be revisited.
What is causing this problem is the raising reduction. We have them. So I wonder when the minister is talking about cattle colony, I thought the minister said, no sir, this cattle colony offices, the mere nature of cattle colony will see it will create another level of crisis.
Call the attention to at least give the land, little land for the farmer to live. If we can call it temporary, I call it temporary grazing area before grazing. That is not something that can be done in even 2 years.
Some experts in conflict resolution engaged by the NBA to help in analyzing the situation shared their opinion on what ought to be done.
That there are about 415 using reserve. What's the status of this reserve? Say about 140 are well gazetted. What's the status of this? What's the government saying about it? How is the government using this to adequately educate the states that are involved, the communities that are involved about the legality of this reserve and how effective they are on ground and put to use? It's an association and the citizens of this country who are interested in promoting the rule of law and promoting peaceful coexistence amongst all our communities.
Concerned with bringing this circle of violence to a halt, the NBA intends to analyze the evidence and content of fact derived from its findings and make recommendations to government for implementation.
And lastly, Nigerian government has approved the naming of the Federal University Ondufo Aleke-Ikwo Funai in Ebonyi State after the late former Vice President Dr. Alex Ekweme, who was laid to rest this Friday. The institution is now to be known as Alex Ekweme Federal University, Ikwo, Ebonyi State, Nigeria. This was contained in President Muhammadu Buhari's funeral message delivered during the funeral service of the elder statesman at his country home in Oko, Orumba, North Council area of Anambra State. And that's how we end today's edition of Democracy Today, which has featured a recap of major politically related issues within the country. I am Ojon Bello. We hope you want to join us same time tomorrow for another edition. Bye for now.